forever away.
The great milk debate. I don't know. I don't feel like it's the great milk debate, but it keeps on coming up. You're hanging out with Monica and Jesse on 104.3 Fresh Radio. This is not the first time I feel like we've seen this, but of course, leave it to social media for people to be debating. Yeah. How many holes do you put in a bag of milk when you're opening it? 1, 2, do you do a slit? Like, how is it? Honestly, and this is something that has come up, and I've seen quite a few people, they've put 2 holes, one on each side, to pour their milk. And I'm like, what?
Well, I only learned that 2-hole thing yesterday. So I know this has been a debate that's come up a lot, but apparently I missed that. I never knew the 2-hole thing. Like when you have a can of apple juice, right?
Yeah.
And you put a triangle in each side. People say it helps the flow, but I've never had a flow problem with 1 hole.
I never had an issue either growing up. Our only issue is ensuring that nobody put the milk container back empty into the fridge or put it in and not cut the milk open.
Cut the triangle off.
Yeah, that got you into trouble.
Big time. Big time.
I'm not understanding this at all. Like, somebody explain this to us, please.
Why did parents get so mad about that triangle not being cut off? Like, that was one of the worst things you could do in my household.
Why? Because think about it. You're in a rush. You go grab the milk. You go to pour, and all it does is just knock the bag out, especially when he has nowhere to go.
Now the
Flop,
whole right to your cereal.
It's your cereal, your cup of coffee.
Oh my gosh. My parents used to also get so mad if you would cut the triangle off and then it went flying somewhere like a rogue fingernail. And then they'd find it.
No.
I did that, okay?
Why? Why would you? Why wouldn't? Because then that helps with the cutting of it by pulling the corner of it, and you cut, and
that's just logical, done. Monica. You know.
Now I can understand if it was you took a knife. In our house, my mom always said, "You use something, put it back." And sometimes we didn't put things back, and so then you got stuck because you couldn't put the bag of milk in the container into the fridge without it being cut open. So you brought out the knife. So one, it made it all jagged.
Now you're sawing
and messy.
it.
Yeah. And then what happens if you cut yourself? Ooh. So to this day, if I reach for a knife to open up the milk, I start laughing and I think about my parents. Because if I cut myself, I'm never going to hear the end of it at my age.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And nobody wants a jagged milk bag. It's just ugly.
Well, no, not just that. But that's when it gets messy because there's extra little flaps everywhere. And
now you got the rogue stream like when you wake up in the morning.
You have to clean up.
Okay, the weirdest one I've ever seen is my grandmother. And there's one person on our Facebook page where we're talking about this, Chris, who agrees with her. She used to do this slit method. And I think it's because it was seamless to her. She wouldn't end up with the little triangle. So what she would do is instead of cutting the triangle off, she would cut into the bag like with the seam. So it was like a vertical line. And so then it would just like, bloop, 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 it would open up and let the milk out and close again.
I feel like so much can go wrong with that. What happens if it goes too far? It spills everywhere.
Or what if the slit doesn't open enough and then you're like getting dribbles all out? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I wish people could see Jesse's hand motions right now. It's opening and closing like a gate over in here.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Neither do I. Maybe I have no idea what's going on over there.
We should just go back to cartons. Milk cartons, there's only one way to do it.
Here we go. Here we go.
Because now every time I open a bag of milk, I'm going to be like, am I doing this right? I wonder how most people do this.
You know what would be great, but it would not work? You know how a lot of refrigerators have water on the outside? Imagine if you could just have one of those.
A milk thing?
Yeah.
Hell, just get a cow. Even easier.
Hey, there's some families that say that probably solve all their problems.
It probably does, right? Yeah. Chickens too. Why not?
Have a whole farm in your backyard.
Yeah, move.
We're taking your phone calls at 507-1043. Maybe you can explain it to us.
Yeah.
You know what? Hey, this wouldn't be the first time if we were wrong.
It wouldn't. It wouldn't.